Am I audible?
Yes, sister, you are audible.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, so today we'll have a quick, before we move to the next session of ours, which is the karma philosophy of Rajyoga meditation and the powers gained through Rajyoga meditation. So before we move forward, we will have a quick recap as to what we understood about the human tree. Yesterday, we understood about the Kalpavriksha, that is the tree which fulfills all our desires, as mentioned in the scriptures. Beneath this tree, the one who sits there, all desires are fulfilled. That's the notion about it. So, uh, truly speaking, how the tree flourishes and who is the seed of the tree. Yesterday we understood that God Shiva himself is the tree, is the seed of this human tree called Kalpavriksha, and then from this seed a stem, or the two leaves which emerges, or the trunk which emerges, the golden period, the Sun dynasty. Then the trunk grows further. There is oneness in that period. Then it further grows into the silver period, which is 1250 years. So up till 2500 years, there's utmost peace, happiness, love, and oneness experienced. And there is only one religion, the deity religion, which is known as the Adi Sanatan, Devi Devta Dharam. Then from that one religion, the first branch emerges after 2500 years, that is of Islamism, of Ibrahim comes and establishes the Islam religion in the Copper Age. Then comes Shankaracharya, then comes Jesus Christ, and then comes Gautam Buddha. So the important major religions are established in the Copper Age. Mm. That is where the need for the religions is also experienced, and to a great extent these religions support us, help us to sustain mankind. And then as the tree grows further, there are further division of branches into small different faiths, different gurus, different motivational speakers, and all of those smaller branches emerge towards the end. And when this tree comes to a full grown age, that is when the seed once again emerges to introduce in himself that I am the seed of the human tree. Once you associate yourself with me, the sapling of a new tree is being laid, and then you become part of the new tree, or you become part of the continuous process of human life. So the seed, when the seed emerges towards the end of, or the tree when it reaches its lifespan, it takes a human body of Brahma, the human medium. Through him, he reveals the secret of the entire tree, and helps us to associate once again with the seed of knowledge, so that we become eligible to come into the new sapling which is being laid by God himself. So this was the analogy of the human tree, which we understood yesterday. So moving forward, today we will understand the karma philosophy, how this karma works. There were questions of some participants earlier about the secrets of karma philosophy. Today we will understand how our karma philosophy functions. I request sister to turn on the PowerPoint for me. Yeah. So the law of karma explains that every action I perform, there is a result that I experience, right? So I'm sure you might have heard about this, that every actions has some impact on us, which we have to experience as a result of that. So today in detail, we will understand that there are blocks coming, that there are three types of karma. The first one is su-karma, which is karma performed karma actions performed being in soul consciousness and remembrance of God can be considered as sukarma, which is righteous karma or good karma, because that is under the influence of or whilst being in the soul conscious and the remembrance of God. So definitely no wrong deeds or no sinful deeds can happen when we perform our actions in whilst being in the remembrance of the Supreme and in the consciousness of the soul, not body. So moving on, the next type of karma is vikarma, which means action performed being in body consciousness. Hmm? When I realize that I am a body, I associate others also with their respective bodies. So, under the influence of body consciousness, whatever actions I perform, they go under the category of vikarma. Now, the bigger question is, till date, whatever actions we perform, since there was no knowledge of soul consciousness, mm, uh, where was my actions going, or in which category my actions were going. The bigger question is that. So not to dishearten you, but to let you know that all the actions whilst I was performing before the knowledge of the soul and the supreme soul went under the unknowingly went under the category of vikarma. That is being in the influence of the vices within the soul, because soul was affected by these viruses. We didn't know that these were the viruses which were causing so much of disturbance and sorrow and suffering in life. So whatever actions influenced by body consciousness or whilst being in the influence of the five vices, whichever deeds I performed went into in the category of vikarma. Then the third category is akarma, actions performed being in soul consciousness alone. There is no remembrance of God. That has a neutral impact. Sukarma has a positive impact on the soul. Mm, there are positive impressions, there are good actions performed. So the recording in the soul is of Sukarma. Then Vikarma again has a negative impact on the soul. It's like a burden on the soul. The recording of Vikarma feels you tired, burnt out, burdened. Okay. And Akarma has a neutral impact again. There is only the consciousness of the soul, which happens in the golden and silver age.
Sister,
All the
voice is very low.
okay. Now, is this okay?
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay, I'll hold it
Thank you.
more closer to my mouth. Yeah. So actions performed in the consciousness of soul. mm, In the golden and silver period, very naturally the consciousness will be of soul consciousness, and the dealings with each other will be based on the soul consciousness. So the actions performed in the golden and silver period by the souls fall under the category of karma. Go behind. Which is having a neutral impact. Neither, it is a burden, nor is it a acquisition, or it is like a good treasure of karma in the soul. So, a karma is the karma performance. Coming to karma basics, which explain that each of my action is accountable. Don't think that any actions in one particular day, let us say today I had no check over my actions, absolutely zero check. So will it be accountable or not? Every action is being recorded in the form of sanskara in the soul. So, and then accordingly, you have to experience the fruits of it also. So every action counts in determining the quality of life you are leading now, plus improving the quality of your life in the coming period also is determined by your actions. So don't take this aspect very lightly, that uh, who's watching or who's saying or who's keeping a track over my actions. It is being recorded here. Just like, for example, if you go to a a party, and when the camera, which is recording the wedding function, when the camera is focused on you, how do you act or react to it? Yes, we all become so conscious now, camera conscious, and we want the best side of us to be recorded in the camera, so that when one fine day I have to sit and watch, it should be worth watching. Similarly, if I understand that there is 24 by 7 a camera of which is recording all my actions, so how am I supposed to perform my actions, or how do I want it to be? Because someday I will have to sit back and watch my own life like a movie in flashback. So should it not be worth watching? Yes, what do you think? Yeah? So yes, that should be the attitude. Next comes, my past affects my present. In this karma basics, my past also plays a major role in affecting my present. Whatever actions I've performed in my past, accordingly, my present is happening. Nothing is happening by chance in my present, or nothing is of no relevance. It has. There is a relation between my past and my present. If it certainly affects my present, and then accordingly, my present, certainly whatever actions in the present moment are again determining my future also. Then I get what I deserve. Whatever I, based on my actions, I get what I deserve. Not that I get what others do, or I get what my parents do. They will get the fruits of what they have done, good or bad. No parents can decide my fruits, because it's my actions. So I deserve what I do as per my actions, or I get as per my actions whatever I deserve. So nothing happens by chance, because karma philosophy is at play. Even though we think by chance somebody is becoming richer or wiser, or all the good things happening to them or all the bad things happening to them, nothing is happening by chance, because karma is at play in the background. So that aspect has to be deeply understood. No one can snatch others' fortune. you know Even if let us say my actions are good in this birth, and when I leave the body, I take back this treasure of good actions in the form of sanskaras, and then accordingly my next birth has to be good. And when that birth is very good and everything is going on very perfect in my life, so it gives us the confidence that nothing can take away my fruits from me. I deserve what I have with me. So the fear factor of losing your fortune, or somebody snatching your fortune, when you understand this aspect of the karma philosophy, there's nothing called fear in your life, because I am getting what I deserve, and if I really deserve something, nobody else can snatch that from me. So the karma philosophy helps us to get this aspect clear in our head. I am responsible for my present state. Wherever I am, in a good position, in a bad position, in a healthy position, in a non-healthy position, in a troubled position, wherever I am in my present, I am responsible to it. Generally, we play the blame game. It is because of them I am experiencing this sorrow. It is because of this factor I'm experiencing ill health. It's very easy to blame others, but it takes a lot of courage and power to take the ownership of whatever is happening to me in the present moment. So, truly speaking, every individual is responsible for their present state, no matter where they are, every individual. let us see how we play the blame game. The truth is that we are to be blamed wherever we are. Let's understand how. So, block. None of these factors are responsible for one's present situation. What we thought are responsible, let us see today that none of these factors are responsible at all. So the first is God. So anything wrong happening in our life, very easily we blame God. In Hindi, there's a famous phrase that सुख भी वही देता है तो दुख भी वही देता है. But truly speaking, if he is our true parent or our eternal father and mother, on one hand, we have been singing praises of God that Tvameva Mata Shapita Tvameva, then how can this Mata Pita, cause sorrow and suffering in my life? My physical parents also do not, cause any pain or sorrow and suffering in my life. Then how can God, the eternal parent, can be blamed for whatever wrong is happening in my life? Because I do not know that I am in charge of my life. I am responsible of my present state. Not knowing this aspect or being ignorant from this aspect for a very, very long time, and having a mindset of blaming things out there right from childhood, we are tuned in that way. So very easily we blamed God for all the wrong things happening. Then, whereas he is not to be blamed, he is there to help us out and make us understand that how we can set right things. No matter in whatever situation we are, good or bad, we can still change. For that guidance, he is always there as a true parent, as a supporter, as a mentor. So he cannot be blamed. Then the next factor is my fate. I blame my fate for anything wrong happening in my life. But truly speaking, fate is again something which is based on my actions. So I can't blame my fate. Very loosely, carelessly, we use this word. It's my fate, but truly speaking, we are the creators of our fate by our actions performed. And we can, again, in the future, make changes to this aspect also. Some people blame Vastu also. Many external factors like Vastu also we started blaming, but truly speaking, that was something internally which we didn't understand properly, that my actions, my recording is not correct. As a result of that, I am experiencing the fruits of that. We started blaming the outside world, So Vastu is something external. Some people blame the astrology, that my planets are not aligned, or my um, astrological factors are playing a role in determining my current position. But truly speaking, astrology is not to be blamed. It's a science though, but we are in charge of our life. When we start focusing on our karma, what sort of actions I need to perform now, our lines of fortune, palmist also reads the lines, and they also tell you that as the actions of your life, as you pay attention to your actions, these lines keep changing very often. For some, it changes very often. For some, it changes after a certain period of time. But again, all these lines are designed by the actions performed. So, if at all astrology is to be blamed, then everybody has to be in the same position. Astrological factor has to be, because that's something external, that has to be same for everybody. But that's not the case. So no external factor is to be blamed actually. Then the rituals, maybe because of my religion or the rituals I've performed or not performed. Some people have the fear that I'm not performing certain rituals. Maybe that is the reason of my current situation. But truly speaking, again, this is another external factor. This has nothing to do with my present situation. Then the next factor is, can you read it for me, sister? The last factor is black magic. Yeah, somebody did some black magic. That is why wrong things are happening in my life. Of course, this is prevalent. Of course, we hear a lot of stories about this also. But again, this is also an external factor. Uh, Again, it's very easy to blame that for my present state. But once we start, even the people under the influence of black magic, uh, even though they are not in a very good state to understand anything like the karma philosophy in that state, but if they come to a state where they can understand this aspect of karma and start changing their karma accordingly, pay a lot of attention to what they're thinking and then processing and then putting it into action and what's getting recorded, this aspect of black magic also stops working on them. We have proven examples, real life examples, that many people, with the help of their positive thoughts and the energy, by learning the technique of drawing energy from the Supreme, were able to very easily overcome such sort of influences also in their life. Then, block. Okay. The next aspect is, can you read that for me, sister? Factors affecting the fruits of karma. What counts, or what are the factors which determine the fruits of my karma? So firstly, my intentions. What are my intentions while performing certain karma? That counts in determining the fruit of my karma. Suppose my intention is not good. My intention is to hurt somebody, to destroy somebody's life. So I have to pay the fruits of that karma. I have to face the destruction somewhere in my life also. The after effects of that, or the ripple effect of that, my intentions count. Then the next factor is the quality of action. The kind of action, whether it is good or bad, again, this is an important factor that determines my fruits of karma, affects the fruits of karma. Quality of actions we have understood to a small extent in the day one lesson, that uh, my positive thoughts leads to positive actions, negative thoughts leads to negative ones, and then as per that, my buddhi gives the judgment, and then the actions are performed. That's a process actually. And then where is my focus? If my focus is always on the negative aspect, then I have to uh, pay the fruits of it, or I have to bear the fruits of that. If my focus is always on learning, always seeing in the qualities or the specialities in other, if I focus on that side, or what is the learning in a particular situation, then my actions, based on that sort of focus, where my mind's focus goes, such kind of actions help me or pay me pay me good results. Then the next aspect which determines is time factor. Hmm? In what particular time I have to perform what actions. Just like the farmers, they sow the seeds in a particular season. They know that if I sow the seed in this particular time only, I will get good yield. Mm. Not that a farmer will sow the seed in any particular time and then he or she will expect some good yield. It doesn't happen like that. The time factor also plays a major role. So just like on a physical level, time factor is important. On a internal level, on a spiritual level also, now is the time, the confluence is the time to uh, build up righteous actions. So I have to understand that this is the time to sow the seeds of righteous actions, so that my actions pay me in full. Because when the farmer at that particular time does the sowing of the seed, he knows that he will get lot of returns out of it. Likewise, this time where we are in the present moment, in the confluence age, we can make the most out of this time. We can, uh, uh, because God is there as a helping hand. So we need to understand what is the current time. And then our surroundings also determine our actions. Suppose I'm not in a very healthy surrounding, my actions won't be of good quality. But still, I can change my surroundings by changing my thought energy, because my surroundings is all about energy. Let us say I am getting all unhealthy energy from other end. I can still change my surroundings with the help of my energy, because every individual counts in making the surrounding pure, powerful and healthy to live. That's also one factor which counts. And then situation, in what situation I am, that also determines. Okay. Then moving forward, the realization which comes by understanding the karma philosophy is that no effect, no result. When there is no effort, there is no result. If I don't take the effort to understand where my thought energy is going and where my actions are leading me, if I don't sit back and analyze my actions, I will definitely have no results out of it. The one who are paying attention and putting efforts to change their actions now will have very, very good results. Keeping the past aside, we can still, by changing our present as per the guidelines of the Supreme, I can still have very, very good results in my present and as well as the future. Then the next factor or the next realization is past, put a full stop. Unless and until I don't keep the past in the past and put a full stop, I won't be able to move forward or make any good changes in my present and see the result of it. So if I am, clinging on to my past, or always living in the past, or rewinding the past, or always bringing that energy in my present moment, because when I reflect on my past, which is, let us say, not so good, I'm bringing that energy, that pain, that sorrow in my present. I know it's not so easy to put a full stop and let go, but with meditation, yes, it becomes easy, because we all, uh, sisters, or the so many people who have been following the daily discourses of the Brahma Kumaris, there are many success stories who were able to easily let go of the past, with the help of meditation, with the energy received from the Supreme on a daily basis. Letting go of the past becomes an easy process. And it has to, that realization has to be there, that I'm not there, I am here. I have put a full stop there, and then I want to move forward in life. Enjoy the present moments. When I put a full stop to my past, I'm able to enjoy what my present has to offer, or what God also has to offer to me. Suppose I'm too much in my past, I miss the fun of the present and what God is also giving, because I'm too engaged. If somebody is on one line and you are trying here to call that person, what is the commentary telling you? Please wait, they are on one line, they are engaged. So the other person cannot, tell you or convey the message to you. So being in the present helps me to receive the gifts of the present. So it's very, very important to live in the moment. I'll give you an example of our administrative head, who used to be the administrative head till the March of this year, Dadi Janki. She was a 104-year-old woman who was leading one of the biggest spiritual organization for more than 2 decades. And it, the, many people interviewed her many at different platforms in different countries, and they wanted to know the secret of her long life, because crossing 100 years of physical age is not a joke. And that too, she was fully aware of what's happening. She was able to deliver what she wanted to convey to people in a very effective manner. Every word of hers till she left the body made sense to everybody, and she spoke with utmost clarity. And she was awarded the most stable mind in the world. Her EEG reports, the brain reports, were tested for a day, and then the analysis showed that her brain waves or her thought patterns were showing delta waves throughout the day. Which means when you are in a very deep sleep, your if your EEG report is to be studied, it shows delta waves, which means your mind is at rest and not many thoughts are moving in your mind. So when this particular experiment was done on her, because she spoke a lot about the power of thoughts and the impact of thoughts on the body. So this experiment was done many years back. Then the people who were into the experiment, they thought that the machine was at fault. They brought another machine to again, once again, repeat this activity the following day. Then once again, her EEG reports showed that it is all delta waves throughout the day. So how was this happening? They were taken aback to see such kind of amazing results. So how come she was able to be so much at peace and generate minimum thoughts, as much as required for a particular task, and nothing extra? Oh, no extra generation of thoughts. How could she control her mind so well, so effectively, which nobody in the past, they had tested many great souls EEG reports. It never showed this kind of delta waves throughout the day, 24/7. So how this happened? The simple answer which came from her when inquired by the people who were into the research, the simple answer which came was, I know how to live in the moment. She said in one line, to summarize it, I have learned how to live in the moment. And truly, when I got an opportunity to watch her closely, I could see that she was, when at a given point, let us say, talking to a group of people online, she is so much focused at them, and no work pulls her of the immediate future, or no folder of her past opens in between. She is so much in the moment, and so much she was able to deliver in those present moments, and she was able to receive a great deal also in the present, which we could see from her face. So living in the present moment is an art which comes naturally through the regular practice of Rajyoga meditation. Then the realization of future, that my future is still in my hands. Even though, let us say, my present is not so good, I have bad health, I have bad finances, I have bad relations, everything is going wrong in my life at the present moment, I can still design my future the way I want. That confidence comes once there is an attention paid on the karma in the present moment. Then let me not compare myself with others. This also has to be a beautiful realization in the present moments. Many people are not able to enjoy the beauty of life just because they are comparing their lives with other people's life. They are eating this, I will do this. They are wearing this, I will also do that. They are doing whatnot, I will also do it. So because of comparison, because all individuals are unique in their own way, we have to understand that. And if I start comparing, I mess up many things, or I miss the fun of my beautiful life. So comparison is not a healthy thing at all. don't conclude based on episodes in life. I conclude, I very casually say that everything is going wrong, my life is, worst, or my life is not worth living, it's uh, just not good at all. So I can, I conclude with just one episode in my life at times. But truly speaking, there are many pages in the book of life. We cannot determine the whole book by just reading one page. So turn on the pages and see what the book has in life, and don't label that when things are going wrong that my life is only wrong, or nothing can happen about it. So that such sort of thoughts do emerge when we are into a situation, no doubt about it. But again, the karma philosophy tells, the realization of karma tells that yes, I have control over my future. I can still change my future by just turning a page, which is bringing the realization that I have power to, enough power to change my life, or bring a qualitative change in my life. Then cleansing karma. How do I cleanse karma? There are two ways of doing it. One way of cleansing negative karma depends on our choice of either experiencing punishment. One option is either I experience punishment or penance, which is Rajyoga meditation, or through, but not through charitable activities. I thought that if I do a lot of charity, all the sinful deeds which I've performed in my past can be washed out. But truly speaking, it is not that easy. In order to wash out all the wrong or sinful deeds which I have performed, the bad karma, the negative karma, the impact of that can be washed out through this connection of the soul and the Supreme Soul. That is one good option. And otherwise, I have to experience the punishment of it. We'll come later to the punishment part as to how the soul experiences the punishment. But at the moment, just for your information, the soul either has to experience punishment or through meditation. Now the choice is ours. It is in our hand. What I choose is up to me. But I have a choice. In my hands. What is in my hands? Two things that happen simultaneously are, can you put the bar upwards? I'm eating the fruits of past seed sown in the present time. Two things are happening simultaneously. Whatever past karma I've performed, I am eating the fruits of it in the present moment. I'm experiencing the fruits. Plus, simultaneously, I'm sowing the seeds of future fruits also. By performing some good actions, of course, I'm experiencing the past actions fruits now, plus simultaneously I'm performing good actions so that there are some good seeds of righteous actions are sown so that the fruits of that can be experienced in the future. One is I'm experiencing my past fruits, the other is designing my future also simultaneously whilst being in the present moment. This is what is happening. One is Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga. Then the next is Jnana Yoga, based on the knowledge coming from the scriptures. That sort of a connection, or yoga in simple terms is a connection. One is based on knowledge, one is based on the physical aspects, exercises. Other yoga or other connection is based on the bhakti, the path of devotion. Then other form of yoga is based on chanting or mantras. Then the other form of yoga is, another form is karma yoga, the connection experienced whilst performing actions. That is called karma yoga. So these are all the prevalent yogas, or the kind of yogas you have heard about, right? So the different types of yoga. And lastly comes the Rajyoga, which is the king of all yogas, or it makes you a king. A king means in a better position to handle the subjects, in a better, or the master, the controller, who has power to access things around him. So Raj Yoga, the word Raja means the king and yoga means the connection. The connection or the link which makes you a king. That is why this term Raj Yoga is emerged. Then the basics of Raj Yoga. Excuse me. Coming to the basics of Raj Yoga. So what counts in order to improve your connection, called Raj Yoga meditation, is the introduction of the self as a point of light, then the introduction of the Supreme also, who is also just like the soul, a divine point of eternal light, the association. So first the introduction part comes into picture, then later comes the association. So that forms the basis. Once we get to know who we truly are, we get to know who the spiritual father truly is. Unless and until the proper introduction is there, there is no connection felt. Then the second factor, which becomes the basis of Raj Yoga, is the relationship, the eternal relationship between the soul and the Supreme Soul. Because neither the soul dies nor the Supreme Soul perishes. They are both energies, and energy neither can be created nor destroyed. So there is an eternal relationship between the soul and the Supreme Soul. Once this is properly understood, Raj Yoga becomes much, much easier. Then comes the affection. We meditate or we experience this connection with lot of affection for God, not by compulsion. One way is out of fear or out of compulsion. I am meditating because I want to finish my sins. I have a lot of fear that I should not perform sins in the coming days of my life. So one aspect is doing things out of fear or out of insecurities or out of other factors. But for Raj Yoga, the affection or the love for the one becomes the basis of it. Truly, for a lasting connection in this world out there also, when there is love involved, that is a very strong bonding or a connection based on affection. Likewise, in order to have a good connection with the Supreme, in order to experience the powers from the Supreme in my connection with Him, the affection part with lot of love for Him makes a big whole difference there. And then I can do it daily. When there is love, I don't mind doing anything for my loved one on a daily basis, right? So meditation, which is a continuous process, when it is based on affection, it becomes very, very enjoyable, and it becomes much, much easier also. And it gives a lot of happiness. Then the attainments, once I start experiencing the attainments through Raj Yoga meditation, that also becomes the basis for a good connection. So let us say I experience that letting go becomes very easy for me. Within 2-3 days of meditation, there is a shift within me where I'm able to let go things. So that's an attainment which I've received through my meditation. So once I get that proof, that experience of one attainment, that helps me to keep repeating it again and again and again, and see how this beautiful science behind this technique called meditation works. So attainments also becomes the basis of Raj Yoga meditation. Once I start experiencing the fruits of it, the attainments, that keeps me going or repeating the process. Yeah. So the things which do not help me in this connection or not um, uh, supportive in my connection of Raj Yoga are the 5 vices within me. They become a barrier which do not allow me to experience the beautiful connection with God. Let us say my thoughts are full of lust. So it will become impossible for me to break this chain over here and then associate myself with or take my thoughts upwards, because it is always moving downwards with humans and human bodies. It gets caught up there. But whereas meditation is, going beyond the human physical body and the physical relations around me. So again, these are the barriers, or the five vices becomes our barriers that do not help me in my connection. Or if I start connecting, all these barriers also, it's a vice versa process. Slowly the vices within me fade out, and once I'm able to overcome these vices, slowly when the intensity of these vices reduces, my connection becomes very, very stronger, and I feel more in power or in line with myself, in harmony with myself. So we have to refrain ourselves from thoughts related to lust, greed, anger, attachment, and ego. That's a conscious choice which we all have to make. Any thought related to ego, I have to, keep it aside. Not good for me. I have to be, I have to have a friendly talk with myself each time. We have never experienced a talk with a self-talk. A very beautiful aspect in our life is missing, which is self-talk. We are trying to improve our skills of speaking with public, with people around, but what about self? How good am I, or how bad am I when it comes to talking to the self? So any thoughts related to any of these five vices, I have to tell myself, suggest myself, just like I give suggestions to my friends, that this is not good for you, you refrain from this, you avoid this, and then only your quality of life improves, then only you are in a better position or happier place. Likewise, I have to have a talk with my mind that these are thoughts related to attachment. It's not healthy for me. It won't help me improve my connection with God, my eternal Father, and I will miss the fruits of this beautiful age, confluence age. All attainments are there in this connection, and I will miss all the beautiful period. So I have to make conscious choice of my thoughts. Now I have to become choosy about my thoughts also, whereas we never paid attention to our thoughts in the past. We were like loose horses, we have left them go in whichever direction you want. But now, in this spiritual path of or spiritual journey called Rajyoga meditation, we have to pay attention, a lot of attention, as to where this energy, thought energy is going. If it is going in an unhealthy way, that is related to lust, greed, anger, attachment, or ego, I have to bring that energy back, save it, and put it into productive ways. That's a conscious choice to be made. Then all of this has to be avoided. That is why a cross sign has been shown on them. Not good for the soul, not healthy for the soul. Definition of Raj Yoga. In simple words, it is forget your body and all bodily relations, possessions, and consider yourself as a point of light. The first step is body and bodily connections are to be forgotten for a while, and then realize that you are a point of light and remember God, the supreme light. This is Raj Yoga in brief. Then, moving forward, we will understand the powers gained through Raj Yoga, or the process of Raj Yoga. As the picture shows that there is a divine light up there, the supreme being, and there is a light within me, the soul, and when I associate, I draw the energy, which is like a shower coming on me. I focus that laser beams here, and I experience the love, the peace, the bliss, the happiness, whatever is missing in my life. It can be taken from that source of all powers. So suppose I am lacking love in my life. Let us say there is this aspect of love not being felt very strongly in my life. So when I meditate, I draw the energy of love from the Supreme, who's considered to be the ocean of love. See, human beings are like small rivers of love. They can provide you or give you love as much as they have acquired in their life, right? A person can love you if at all he has the stock of love, or he has acquired some love, or he has got some love. To that extent, he can love you. Suppose he himself is lacking love, and I expect that that person should love me. How can that happen? So we have to fill ourselves with that divine source, with love, with peace, with happiness, which is now lacking in the soul, which were once the treasures of the soul. So when these laser beams fall on the soul, all the core values of the soul, which were once there within the soul, very much where the part of the soul, slowly comes to a surface level, or a ready to use level, or I am experiencing them in abundance, so that I have sufficient love to love myself, and I have enough love to give love outside also. So such is the process of Rajyoga meditation, where you have enough treasures, the imperishable treasures of peace, love, happiness, joy, bliss, knowledge, and power and purity, and you have enough to an extent where you become a giver also. That's another stage in Raj Yoga meditation, but it happens. Coming to the process of Raj Yoga, which is first contemplating what I want to focus my thoughts where, and then concentrating. First is contemplating, and then focusing, and then experiencing or realizing. It's a three-step process. First comes the contemplation, second comes the focus, I guide it there, then I realize that I am a peaceful being, I am a loving being, I am a blissful being, I am a powerful being. All of that becomes part of me, which nobody can take away from me. Can somebody take the peace from me today? If you ask me, I would say no. Cannot happen. Can somebody take the happiness from me? Oh, it's my treasure. I know it is very much internal, personal, and nobody can take away from me. So this is the process of Raj Yoga meditation. Then the pillars of Raj Yoga meditation. What counts in making a good connection with the Supreme? So don'ts, we have seen the 5 vices is like the don'ts, and this is the do's, or certain things you have to adopt in order to experience a good connection with God, in order to have some beautiful realization or experiences there. The first pillar, like the doctor also, once they give you a medicine, they say certain things you have to avoid and certain things you have to adopt. Only then this medicine will work. Likewise, the spiritual doctor or the Supreme Soul, God also gives us a set of do's and don'ts. If you avoid these things, you'll lead a healthy life. If you adopt certain things, it's going to make a big difference, a quality life or a much healthier life you will experience. So these are the things we need to adopt. First factor is maintaining celibacy, which is a pure life. The first aspect or the basis of pillar of Raj Yoga is maintaining a pure life, because as is the purity, or the more I maintain celibacy, experience celibacy in life, the you can see you can experiment and see for yourself, just for a week or 10 days or for a month, if you can take it like a challenge that I will maintain brahmacharya in my life, and when you observe your thoughts during that period, so not many destructive thoughts or negative thoughts or thoughts which has some negative impact can be felt in your mind. So that is the power of purity. which is maintained on an external level, but that has an impact on an inwards level on the soul. It helps the soul to cleanse itself and feel light and feel happier. So it's a matter of experience again. The one who does it experiences it. I invite you to take it as a challenge and see for yourself. If you find some beautiful realizations coming, some beautiful thought process happening during that period, acknowledge it, write it somewhere, and see how it's impacting your life. If you find it is useful, then continue, repeat for another month and see for yourself. But certainly, purity has a lot of power within it. And celibacy is considered to be a pure life. In the golden and silver period, there were no vices, there was no lust, or there was no forms of traces of anger, but they were birds. They were pure birds. The thoughts were so pure that whenever in that period the mother had a thought to have a child, she would conceive just with the help of the thoughts. So when the purification of the thought process happens now, it reaches a point where the thoughts have become so powerful that you don't have to do much of physical efforts, and you can achieve things just by changing your thoughts or cleansing your thoughts. So it is going to happen in the golden period with the help of the thought power. Families will be moving forward without any lustful deeds, but now is the time to work on self and lead a pure life. Only then we can experience the purity, the utmost 100% purity in the coming period. So the ones who put that effort now will experience the fruits of it in the coming two ages, that is golden and silver age. Everything is based on purity. Purity of thoughts, purity of words, and purity of actions. It is on three level. It works on three level. So celibacy has its own significance. It improves it increases the value of the soul. You start feeling valued once you start maintaining celibacy. Again, I would say you experiment for yourself and see how it works. If it is giving you some, happiness, or it is giving you some sorts of positive fruits, continue, and then see how life changes. The next pillar, or something which needs to be adopted in order to maintain a good relationship with God, is purity of thoughts, purity of food. Food plays a major role in our life, in shaping our mind. In the olden days, people used to say, Jaisa ann, vaisa man. As is the food, so is the mind. So there is a lot of meaning in that. So the kind of food determines the quality of your life also, or the quality of your thoughts. Suppose I am eating all sorts of junk food, unhealthy food, and tamasic food. Now what comes under the category of impure food or tamasic food is non-veg, drinks, eggs, onion, garlic, which is also not healthy for the soul, even though some medical people justify it that it is good for health, but certain kinds of food is not good for the soul, because onions and garlic is again considered as impure food. The sole reason is it is very strong in its nature. If you cut an onion, it is so strong that you get tears in your eyes. So something, even garlic is having a very strong smell. Once you peel out garlic for at least good 2 days, your hands or your mouth would be smelling garlic. So again, that shows that it is very strong in tendency. So something which is very strong in nature does not help you to overcome your old patterns of thinking. There is a whole lot of science behind that. Uh, Later in the follow-up sessions, we can discuss and we can show you with some proofs how food has, or tamasic food has, an impact over the mind. So many people in the past, they preferred homemade food only. Of course, there were not many restaurants or outlets so that you can go and help yourself. There was only homemade food. That's why the food kept the family connected. It was playing a major role because it was cooked in the house for the family. The thoughts were of love for the family. So those vibrations were passed over into the food, that it is cooked for my family. That is why my family, that feeling of connectivity was felt. Of late, because we are eating outside food, which is, of course, not good for the body and for the mind, we don't feel connected amongst ourselves. There are two people also living in the same, under the same shelter, in the same house, and not feeling connected now. What could be the reason? They are staying together but not feeling connected. So one factor which is playing a major role is the food also. It is determining in not feeling that connection. Because when you purchase food outside, it is like, you buying different emotions of the people who are making that food. Suppose the one who's preparing, the cook in the restaurants is in a very irritated or frustrated or depressed mood, and when he or she is cooking in the kitchen of the restaurant, he or she is passing over those vibrations in the form of energy. Thought energy is passed over into the food prepared, and I go and I buy that food. In a way, what's happening is I'm buying that emotions of that person, which is passed in the form of vibrations. And certainly, even if for a short period, it has an impact over my mind. My mind will definitely feel disturbed, irritated, or frustrated, or depressed for a short while. And if I've been, a person eating outside food for a very, very long time, then it has a stronger impact over my mind. So we can't keep a check over who is preparing the food in what state of mind out there. It's impossible. It's very difficult. The only solution to it is try to eat homemade food in the remembrance of the Supreme, and the food which falls under the category of sattvic food, which is supportive to create positive thoughts, which is supportive to bring a healthy state of mind and in the remembrance of the Supreme. Then comes divine virtues, imbibing of divine virtues in my life. I have to practice, and I have to pick up and practice virtues in my daily life. We talk a lot about virtues, but can we list out a few for ourselves today? Try it out and see. We'll be not, I'm sure that not many can list out a big list of virtues, but truly speaking, these virtues are to be experienced now in the conference age. So what we do in our follow-up classes is pick up a virtue for one particular day and experiment and see how that virtue brings you happiness or brings you the power or helps you to experience a beautiful state of mind. We just don't talk about virtues in Rajyoga meditation or in this path. We experience virtues. That's altogether a different thing. So third aspect which counts in making your connection with God very strong is imbibing of divine virtues in my life, not just talking about it. Then fourth aspect is satsang, keeping good company, because as is the company, so is my destiny, right? So in the outside world, people say that if you are moving in not a good company, definitely you will mess up your life and you will have to pay the fruits of it. Likewise, here in Raj Yoga, we pay a lot of attention to our company, whom we are moving, uh, who is around me, who is my guide, who is my mentor. So daily, there are, of course, now there is a lockdown, so we are not meeting on a daily basis. Otherwise, there is daily meeting in the morning for about 45 minutes. We have more than 50 centers in Hyderabad. So wherever you are, wherever you are living, I'm sure there is a center nearby where, once our services becomes active, you can go there and on a daily basis experience the power of this company, because the company has a lot of impact on me. When I meet like-minded people, when I get into that company, I feel the energy and get motivated and get inspired very easily. So the centers where these discourses happen, they are places which helps you or gives you the right kind of environment to grow as a better individual. So this is also, the company also plays a major role in my connection with God. Committed to you. All right, so time for meditation. Just sit back comfortably. In these present moments, I come to the awareness of I, the soul, separate from this body. I am a being of light, pure energy. This body is my vehicle, my costume. For a few minutes, I step out of the awareness of the body and the bodily connections. I visualize a supreme energy from the soul world is showering his powers upon me. My spiritual father, Shiv Baba, is also a point of light, and I, the soul here, seated in this costume of mine, I am also a point of light. I belong to him, and he belongs to me. He's showering his powerful rays on me, like the sun, and I, the soul here, I'm experiencing it. I'm absorbing it. The ocean of love is showering his love on me, and I, the soul, I'm absorbing. The ocean of peace is showering his peace on me, and I, the soul, am receiving the peaceful raises. I experience the raises of bliss. I experience the raises of happiness, of purity, which is cleansing the soul. These powerful beams are removing all the pain of the past memories, all the negative impressions which I was holding on. It is absorbing. I give away all my burdens to the Supreme Being, who is much capable of handling things for me. And I feel the lightness within me. All my burdens are removed. I am a lighter soul. I feel the light within me. As a child of the Supreme, I become like him in his company. I become master peaceful, master loveful, master blissful, master knowledgeful. All the divine powers and virtues are being experienced in the form of inheritance from my spiritual parents. I feel his company around me as my guiding light. I am no more alone. My backbone is very powerful, and I know nothing is impossible for me now. I have a better control over my karma. I know what is right karma. I take the power from the Supreme to perform the righteous karma and make my life worth living. Slowly, I come back to the awareness of my external world to play my role with this energy to perform the righteous actions. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.